Hey, happy Friday to all of you out there in social media world. This is Brother Dana coming to you from Chicago. No, I'm not live yet. For all I know is they've transferred me from Facebook jail to Facebook prison with a life sentence to shut me up from speaking the truth. But I shall not remain silent, and the truth, whether they like it or not, is going to be made known across this land, that my black brothers and sisters that have heritage of slaves that were brought here on those ships are actually the true Hebrews, the Israelites, the chosen people of the Most High. And your season of being oppressed and enslaved by my white ancestors, my white side of the family, is about to come to an end. And that is why I also have entitled this this little talk about rejoicing my black family for all that Trump is doing. And this is why. And so I wanna start from the beginning here, that when America went and voted and casted their lot at the polls, the last election, when they thought nobody was looking and they thought that they could in secret cast their vote towards Trump, there was somebody that was watching, and that is the Most High. And when my white family casted their lot for Trump because they desire for him to make America great again by making America white again, putting white supremacy back in complete power by getting rid of the minorities and having the slaves, my black brothers and sisters, submit once again to our slave mastery. That was the line. And so that line has been drawn, and my white family has casted their lot. And so now in these months and years that are taking place, that transition is going to happen, just like the transition that took place when your ancestors were being made known to Pharaoh and the Egyptians when all of the plagues began to hit Egypt, and yet they did not touch the Hebrews. And so I really believe that season is upon us. And as those plagues begin to come, white America will either, at that time, individuals will repent and acknowledge and repay, or they will stay on the other side of that line and they will fall into destruction. And the destruction that is going to come about on white America is exactly what Trump is putting into play. So the first thing, as I was thinking about Trump, I thought about confusion and the disorder that is in the White House. And 1 Corinthians 14:33 says, "For God is not a God," or the Most High is not a God of confusion, but of peace. So we already know that God, or the Most High, is not involved in that White House. And then I was brought to 1 Samuel 14, verses 20 and 23. And it says, "Then Saul and all his men assembled and went to the battle. They found the Philistines in total confusion, striking each other with their swords. Those Hebrews who had previously been with the Philistines and had gone up with them to their camp went over to the Israelites who were with Saul and Jonathan. And when all the Israelites who had hidden in the hill country of Ephraim heard that the Philistines were on the run, they joined the battle in hot pursuit. So on that day, the Lord saved Israel, and the battle moved on beyond Beth Aven." But the verse that I really wanted you to remember in here is that the Philistines, in total confusion, began striking themselves, each other, with their sword. And as you know, that white America refuses to make any type of law or make any type of ordinances to take away the sword, which today, aka, is their gun. So don't be discouraged when white America wants to allow white America and white Americans the freedom to carry the gun. That is the sword. And even Yeshua said himself in the New Testament that when you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So the confusion that is happening in the camp, in the White House, amongst the white Americans, is the confusion that with the sword or the gun that they refuse to lay down will bring destruction upon themselves. You're already seeing hints of it. You're seeing hints of it in the school systems. These schools that have mass shootings are mass shootings done by the very hands of white America. So what Trump is or is not doing in this case, yes, there will be some pain and there will be some loss in the transition. But this transition is moving towards your release, not to further oppression. So rejoice in knowing that there's confusion in the camp of the White House. And with that confusion and their desire to even live more and more by the sword means, according to the word of the Most High, they will die by that sword. And they will die by that sword because they will end up, like the Philistines, striking each other. The other thing that we look at is his taking away the Social Security, taking away welfare, taking away all these programs that he thinks is only set up for our minority groups of individuals, which the reality is welfare, there's more whites on welfare than there are black brothers and sisters. But again, my people or people perish for a lack of knowledge. So let them believe the lies or the stereotypes that they want to believe, because that very lack of knowledge is bringing destruction upon themselves. So as Trump takes away Social Security and welfare and all of these beneficial programs that he thinks and that his followers think are set up for the minorities, he's actually taken away the very things that will keep his own people, white America, alive or breathing or above water once the transition happens. Because if you look at Egypt, after all those plagues took place, what type of state do you think they were in? So Esther 7:10 said, so they hung Haman on the gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. See, white America is preparing gallows for the minorities and you, my black brothers and sisters, in every way they can. But what they don't recognize is that they will hang themselves on the own gallows of this society that they're creating and building. Why? Because did these plagues and did these hardships hit the Hebrews while they were under the Egyptians? Absolutely not. The other reason why I say to you, my chosen people of the Most High, to rejoice in all that Trump is doing, I've already kind of alluded this, is that my people are going to reap what they sow. That is biblical. They are now about to reap everything they have sowed for at least 400 years, not only to you, but also to all the other people and countries of this world. My dogs like to get crazy at times every time I try to get into something that I don't want to be disturbed. But my people are about to reap what we have sowed. We are the people that have been evil. We are the people that have gone into nations and countries, and we have slaughtered and raped and murdered to conquer. We have overtaken by the sword, and we continue to maintain by the sword, not by the hand of the Most High, but by the hands of ourselves of the sword. And in Matthew 26:52, Jesus or Yeshua said himself, put away your sword. Those who use the sword will die by the sword. So why do I say to you, my black brothers and sisters, you Israelites, Hebrews, the chosen of the Most High, to rejoice in all that Trump is doing? I'm asking you to rejoice in all that he is doing, for he is setting up and preparing as a leader his followers to release and have to give up their control and to reap what they've sowed into your lives for 400 years. And on the other side of that now means that we, as I'm a grafted in person, those who are on the other side, those who know who the true chosen people of the Most High are, we Hebrews, you Hebrews, it is time for us to go through our camp and prepare our businesses, build our businesses, build our communities, so that when that transition of wealth is handed over, we on this side of the line will be prepared to move on to the promised land. And so with that, I say, rejoice to you, my chosen, precious, beautiful people of the Most High, and all that Trump and his followers are doing. For they are ushering in and bringing in the judgment of the Most High that is set up to set you free. Your time is up, whether they want to hear it, whether they want to recognize it, and regardless of how far they try to run, they will not escape it unless they acknowledge, repent, and repay. I hope this brings some encouragement to you, but it brought some definite encouragement to me, not because I'm one that has suffered as you have, but as one who has spent 24 years now watching the people that I love so much, my black brothers and sisters who I now know are the chosen, suffer underneath the hands of my white family. And then knowing that my white family refuses to acknowledge or to accept the truth. But I thank the Most High that he has opened my physical eyes and my spiritual heart to see the truth, so that I too can be set free. So hit me up on my Facebook page or go to my webpage, onelovesociety.love. That's onelovesociety.love. And give me some feedback. And until we connect again, remember who you are and remember where you are now going. And may you be encouraged in this time of transition as you move from the tail to the head. And as you go from being oppressed and enslaved to free, to be who the Most High created you to be. Take care and shalom.